What's up YouTube, Biz Matthew here once again with another video, and in today's video I'm going to talk about the 5 best ways to find cash buyers for your wholesale deal. Before we go on, be sure to like this video, subscribe, turn on post notification bell, and comment down below. Be sure to smash that like button. It just helps this video and this channel become more discoverable for you all. So the number one way I would say to find cash buyer, and the way I find my cash buyer for my first wholesale deal, is through Listsource. Now, what you do in Listsource is you look up that zip code that you have a contract in for. So you just look up that zip code and zip codes around that area, and you start finding cash sales within the past 6 to 12 months around that area. In Listsource, you can break it down in a way where the equity is 100% or more. So you know these are cash purchases and they bought them recently. And then you pull up that list, and you do not remove duplicates, because you want to see if there are people who bought multiple times around that area. And so what I do is I pull up that list and I really look at if I see a name being repeated multiple times and say, okay, this is a heavy cash buyer. Even pull up the LLCs around that area too in your mix. And then after that, you would skip trace that list. Skip trace is basically finding their contact information, finding their phone number to call them. And so that's what I did with my first deal. I found this property around the Chattanooga, Tennessee area. I pulled up the zip code, which I was looking for, and it pulled up a list of cash buyers, and I skip traced that list and just started calling people. Hey, would you be interested in this property? Hey, would you be interested in this property? And I found a lady who likes to flip houses. I call her the boss lady. And the first time I contacted her, she wasn't really that interested, but I contacted her again. So following up also with your cash buyers are very important, right? And so that was my way of finding the cash buyer for my first property that I wholesaled. And I highly recommend it for you all, because it's just real data, and people like the personal touch. People like that you actually call them, that you didn't just send out an email or post something, which are very good methods. But calling a phone, it's cold calling. It's like it's more direct. It's right there in your face, and especially being here in the South, people appreciate that. So a number 2 way I would say is to find a cash buyer is through Facebook Marketplace. Posting your deals on Facebook Marketplace gives you a bigger audience of even like retail buyers that just have cash and they want a property that they can live in and fix. In my last video, I explained how I couldn't find a cash buyer for my last property, and that is because I didn't gauge properly the property. The property was just horrible. I mean, foundation is sinking, it's affecting the structure, and it was basically land value, and I didn't know that. And I offered a little bit higher than land value. But most of my bites, most of my response are from Facebook Marketplace. A lot of people, regular people, just wanting to live in the house and fix it up themselves. So Facebook Marketplace, number 2 way to find cash buyers. And then number 3 way is to look up Facebook real estate groups around your market. So for example, here in Chattanooga, they have this Chattanooga RIA group Facebook page that you can post your deals on. Be like, hey, I have this deal. Hey, or you can post, hey, I'm building my cash buyers list. Can you please send me your email and your phone number? And then bam, people send in responses, people comment and whatnot. And yeah, so that's a really good way to just fill up your pipeline with emails and phone numbers that you can blast your deals to. Okay, and then number 4 is actually going to these RIA groups. So going to these events. So I've been to a couple of these Chattanooga RIA groups, and they host their monthly meeting, their big monthly meetings in once a month. And actually for my first deal, I presented it in front of like a crowd of about, I don't know, there was like 70, 80 people there. And so there were cash buyers in the room. And, they open up the floor for people to have a deal. And, I thought this guy was just going to have me just talk where I was, but he had me stand up, had me go in front of the the whole room, and he had like this projector where I could put like my flyer under so it can be projected on the screen so everyone can see it. And I just started talking. I was a little bit nervous, but hey, I put my face out there, and a lot of people were asking for flyers. Um, and so I got to network with other cash buyers. So that was a number four really great way to find a cash buyer for your uh, for your deals. And then number five is using websites like Zillow, Redfin, Trulia to find cash buyers. So what I do is I look up, and that's how I got to build my list. I look up, a property that I have around the area, and I just look at properties that were recently renovated. So I look at sold properties that were recently renovated. So, and then I look at the price history, like what was the history, transaction history with this property. So, for example, if I look up a property and I just look for sold, and I saw it sold like a month ago, but before that, it sold earlier this year in January for like 60 grand, and then it sold in September for 120 grand. So I know that's a cash buyer because they bought that property that same year, rehabbed it, then sold it again. So, then I'll take that address, I will put it into a website where I can skip trace like individual addresses. There's so many websites like Been Verified. I use this website called Spokio. And it's just a monthly membership, like $5 a month, and you can put individual addresses and whatnot. And so I put that address, I find like the person who bought that house at that time, and yeah, go from there. And also looking at for sales, look at what houses are for sale right now around the area that's selling, that probably sold earlier this year. And so that it's been renovating. You just look at the pictures. The cookie cutter rehab looks. With the granite countertops, that paint. That type of carpeting. You just know it's been recently rehabbed, and they're just flipping a property. And so those are five great ways to find cash buyers and to build your cash buyer list. When you find these addresses, you skip trace them, you find their emails, and you can blast out your deals on your email campaigns to your cash buyers. So there's this review. So number one is finding them through ListSource and skip tracing them and calling them up saying, hey, I have a deal on your street on the area that I know you flipped before. Are you in the market of buying it? Bam. Number two is through Facebook Marketplace, blasting your deals on there, opening it up to retail buyers, to regular people who just want to fix up the houses themselves and they have cash on hand. Number three is posting it on RIA groups. Just posting your deals there. Number four is going to the RIA groups and networking with cash buyers and going in front of people and putting your face out there. And number five is through these websites like Zillow, where you can find recently rehab properties, skip trace those addresses, and then calling these people. So those are five great ways to find cash buyers in your market. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe, comment down below, and like this video. Bam!